July 15, 1918, Secoult, France. A French general stands on a hill, tears streaming down his face. Below him, hundreds of black American soldiers in French helmets are charging straight into machine gun fire. White American units on both flanks have already retreated. But these men, the 369th Infantry Regiment, keep going forward. They scream no battle cry. They just advance. By nightfall, the town is theirs. The general turns to his aide and says, voice breaking, "Give the entire regiment the Croix de Guerre, every single man. France owes them our lives." Less than a year later, those same men will march home to America and be told by their own army, "Take off those French medals. You are not allowed to wear them here." 1917, Harlem, New York. Black newspapers shout, "Colored men, the Germans are at the door of France." Thousands line up to enlist. They believe the war will finally prove they are real Americans. The U.S. Army creates the 15th New York National Guard, all black, then immediately removes every black officer, then hands them broomsticks instead of rifles. One soldier writes home, "They say there aren't enough guns, yet every white regiment got brand new Springfields yesterday." They drill with sticks while white troops fire live rounds, because in 1917 America, a black man with a real gun was considered more dangerous than the Kaiser. December 1917, they sail for France as a labor battalion. Their orders: dig ditches, unload ships, bury bodies. One private says, "We came to fight for democracy." They handed us shovels. Then France bleeds out 1.4 million men. A desperate French commander looks at the 369th and says the words that change history. "Give me those soldiers. I do not care what color they are." March 21, 1918. They are issued French helmets, French rifles, French rations, and French wine. Their new colonel salutes them. "Today you are no longer laborers. You are poilus, French fighting men." That night they give themselves a name that will make the German army tremble: the Harlem Hellfighters. The German spring offensive begins. The Kaiser throws everything at the Western Front. French lines collapse everywhere. Then the Hellfighters enter the line with the French 16th Division, and for the next 191 consecutive days, longer than any other American regiment, they never leave the front. No relief, no rotation. They fight, sleep in mud, fight again. German prisoners tell the same story. There is a new American unit, all black. They do not retreat. They come at night. They do not take prisoners. May 14, 1918, 2 a.m. Private Henry Johnson and Private Needham Roberts are alone on listening post. 24 German raiders attack. Roberts is shot. Johnson's rifle jams. He stands up, 5'4", 130 pounds, and fights with grenades, rifle butt, then a bolo knife. Shot in the head, stabbed 21 times, still fighting. When French troops arrive at dawn, 4 Germans are dead, 21 wounded, and Henry Johnson is sitting on empty shell casings smoking a cigarette. He says, "I was right here when you left me, sir." France awards him the Croix de Guerre with gold palm, first American ever. America? Silence. The Hellfighters keep going. Belleau Wood, Champagne-Marne, Meuse-Argonne. Every major battle, they are thrown into the worst sectors because the French know they will hold. German soldiers begin refusing night patrol when they learn the Hellfighters are opposite them. One captured German officer writes, "We attacked expecting a breakthrough. Instead, we met the Harlem Negroes. They fought with a fury I have never seen." September 26, October 1918, Meuse-Argonne, America's bloodiest battle. The Hellfighters are ordered to take Secoult. They charge through machine gun fire and gas. When white American units on their flanks fall back, the Hellfighters keep advancing. They capture the town, hold it alone for 3 days. The French commander writes, "Never has a regiment fought with such valor."
The entire 369th is awarded the Croix de Guerre, one of only 2 American units ever to receive it as a whole. November 11th, 1918, the war ends. The Hellfighters have spent 191 days in continuous combat, never lost a man captured, never gave up a foot of ground. German High Command lists them as one of the most effective units they faced. They expect to come home as heroes. Instead, the U.S. Army orders, "Do not wear your French medals in America. Do not speak about how the French treated you." February 17, 1919, Fifth Avenue Victory Parade. White regiments march first, thunderous applause, ticker tape. Then the 369th appears. Their band plays jazz for the first time on Fifth Avenue. The white crowd falls dead silent. No cheers, no flowers. When they reach Harlem, their own people break through police lines and lift them on their shoulders. That is the only celebration they receive. Summer 1919, Red Summer. Race riots explode in 26 cities. Black veterans still wearing French medals are lynched. One Hellfighter is beaten to death by a white mob shouting, "Go back to France if you think you're so great." His Croix de Guerre is ripped off and thrown in the gutter. Henry Johnson comes home with 21 wounds and no pension. He is denied treatment at VA hospitals. "We don't serve colored here." He dies at 32, broke, buried in an unmarked grave. His last words, "They gave me a medal in France, but in America they won't even give me a bed." For nearly a century, America refuses to recognize them. No Medal of Honor, no unit citation. Their story erased from textbooks and monuments. White America wants to forget that black soldiers were braver than anyone else. France never forgets. There is a street in Paris named Rue du Caporal Henry Johnson. Every Bastille Day, French veterans lay flowers at the Hellfighters Memorial. French schoolchildren still learn their names. July 15, 1918, Cichot, Aden. A white American major watches his own men run. Then he sees the 369th still charging. He writes in his diary that night, "I am ashamed. Those black troops just saved the entire line while my men fled." September 29, 1918, Hill 188. Orders: take it at any cost. The Hellfighters fix bayonets and walk into hell. Gas so thick men vomit in their masks. Machine guns cut them down in rows. Still they advance. One soldier is hit 6 times and crawls forward until he dies on the enemy parapet. When the hill falls, only 200 of 800 remain. A surrendering German officer says, "We thought we were fighting demons." November 10, 1918, 11 p.m. The war ends tomorrow at 11 a.m. But a German battery keeps shelling. The commander asks for one last patrol. Every surviving Hellfighter steps forward. They silence the guns. At 10:59 a.m. on November 11th, the last shot fired by the 369th is a German machine gun that never fires again. February 17, 1919, Fifth Avenue. 100,000 white spectators fall silent when the band plays jazz. Then Harlem breaks through police lines, lifts the soldiers on their shoulders, cries, screams, throws flowers. A white reporter writes, "For one brief moment, New York belonged to them." Red Summer 1919. Chicago, Washington, Elaine. Black veterans in French medals are dragged from streetcars and lynched. One Hellfighter's Croix de Guerre is torn off and stomped into the mud. Henry Johnson dies broke in 1929. No pension, no medical care. Buried in an unmarked grave. His daughter is 12 years old and watches the coffin lowered with no flag, no salute. 1930s to 1960s. Every major WW1 monument shows only white soldiers. The Hellfighters are erased. Their battle flag, covered in French honors, is locked in storage. 1996, President Clinton awards Henry Johnson's daughter the Purple Heart. She is 79. She cries, "Daddy waited for 78 years for America to say sorry." June 2nd, 2015, Arlington. President Obama places the Medal of Honor around a descendant's neck. His voice breaks. "It took us almost a century, but we finally got it right." 2021. Congress awards the entire 369th the Congressional Gold Medal. Only 3 survivors remain, all over 100. One says, "We didn't fight for medals. We fought so one day our people could walk free. We're still waiting." France never waited. There is a street in Paris named after Henry Johnson. Every year on Bastille Day, French veterans lay flowers at the Hellfighters Memorial. German veterans never forgot either. In the 1960s, a former officer visited Harlem. He found one of the last living Hellfighters, saluted, and said, "You were the best we ever fought. I am still afraid of the dark because of you." Today, a little black boy stands in front of the new Hellfighters display at the WW1 Museum. He reads, "They received France's highest medal and America's silence." He asks his father, "Why don't they teach this in school?" His father has no answer. They were awarded France's highest medal by generals who cried when they saw them fight. They were given nothing by a country that trained them with broomsticks and lynched them in uniform. They were the regiment that saved France and shamed America into becoming better a century too late. French generals knelt before them and pinned medals on their chests with tears in their eyes. American generals told them to hide those medals when they got home. The Harlem Hellfighters. They didn't just fight a war, they fought 2 wars, one against Germany and one against the country that sent them. And in the end, they won both. France will never forget. America is still learning. This is their story, the story of the regiment France loved and America refused to honor.